You read my video title correctly. Space Engineers 2 will not use the Steam Workshop to share mods and user creations. Instead, the early access game will use Mod.io. Many, and I do really mean many, community members and mod developers are actively against this bizarre decision right now. Some are outright stating they will not buy Space Engineers 2 or pre-order the early access unless this decision is changed. Keen does have a reasoning behind it, which we'll discuss today and highlight why this is not the best decision for Space Engineers. Before anyone suggests this is not confirmed, Keen Software House CEO, Marek Rosa, has confirmed that Space Engineers 2 will only use Mod.io for the back end of user-generated content, UGC. He believes that Mod.io offers the same features as the Steam Workshop, but is this really the case? Many mod developers and community members disagree on this point. There are some glaring issues with the platform that even I have a problem with. After all, let's not forget that according to Keen, Space Engineers maintains the 4th largest Steam Workshop community, with over 500,000 user creations. This move to another platform may make sense to the business, but does not make sense to the community. Let's discuss. Greetings everyone, my name is Captain Jack, and welcome to another Space Engineers 2 development video. As we speed towards the early access release on January 27th, there is plenty to discuss. To keep up to date, hit that subscribe button to never miss a video. Let's talk facts. Keen is currently only looking at Mod.io for workshop support when it comes to Space Engineers 2, the upcoming sequel game. Now for context, Space Engineers 1, as we now refer to it, uses both the Steam Workshop and Mod.io. The main reason behind this is when Space Engineers 1 was initially released to early access on Steam, there was no apparent plans for a console edition. Once the console edition was finally released, Mod.io was adopted as a workshop solution to ensure console players could upload their creations. Fast forward to where we are now, Keen is only looking at Mod.io, as this serves as one workshop for both the PC and console community. However, for context, no significant development work is being done on the console version of Space Engineers 2 right now. Keen Software House have confirmed that the current stage of development only sees work on the PC version of Space Engineers 2, due to how consoles release games. Keen's tech director announced on the Space Engineers 2 Alpha Reveal livestream that the developer is deliberately choosing Mod.io because the Steam Workshop is not on all platforms, whereas Mod.io is available on both consoles and PC platforms. It seems the developers want to avoid the split between the community, which is present in Space Engineers 1. As such, Keen wanted to simplify it for players.
There will be few other updates before, like UGC, that's a big thing for the game and community, right? You will suddenly be able to share the creations easily with others. That's like...
And this will come via mod.io.
Yes, we are deliberately choosing Mod.io because in Space Engineers originally it was Steam Workshop, which is great. Like, I love Steam Workshop.
We all do. Yeah.
But it's not on all platforms. Like, if we want to in the future go to consoles, there is no Steam Workshop. So in Space Engineers there was this like complication always. You had to split between communities where you had to upload to two like Mod.io and Steamworks, and it was kind of like complication. So we wanted to simplify it for the players to use just the Mod.io.
Okay, that's
Now, I see the reasoning behind this. Of course, having a unified base with the entire community makes a lot of sense, but I do feel this decision is not the best, given some of the details we discussed. Yes, the bonus to Mod.io is that it is available on every platform, so let's explore the downside and why many in the community are not so happy with this decision. Mod.io as a platform makes sense for what Keen wants it to do. However, as a platform, it also has a lot of critical shortcomings. What are these features and why are they so important that they're not really here? Let's explore, as you might use some of these and not realise they won't be available on the Mod.io platform that Keen has chosen to go ahead with. First up, unlisted mods. This might sound rather basic or not something many of you use. For those unaware, unlisted mods work like an unlisted YouTube video. Only those with a direct link to the Steam Workshop page can see your mod or Steam Workshop creation. Just like only those with a specific link to a YouTube video can see an unlisted YouTube video. An example is how Keen share their newsletter preview videos. They are unlisted for the first week before setting them public. The only way you can see access is if you have the link. While Steam Workshop fully supports unlisted, hidden and private mods, Mod.io does not. For context, I personally use unlisted mods. It's invaluable when you're working on a YouTube series and do not want to spoil it. Now, this can also include developing a custom mod but not releasing it to everyone for privacy's sake. On Mod.io, there is no way to have a mod upload or workshop creation set as unlisted. Your options are either fully public or fully private. This also makes it a nightmare to test these creations. What if I want a friend to proofread or test something before I release it to the public? Another example is from a server owner I know. They've personally modified other users' mods, but have kept them unlisted to both work on the server and only be accessible to those with a link. Many mod developers prefer this, as it means there are not 100 versions of their mod on the Steam Workshop. Another feature, collections. This is a vital part of the Steam Workshop. I use collections to build my mod list, as you can see on screen, which I then provide to all of you. This tells you what mods I've used in a Space Engineers YouTube series, like my recent Frontier Sci-Fi series. On screen, you can see an example. It's just a nice way of organising mods and workshop creations. Developers use it to showcase all of their mods, creators and community members use it to organise and showcase their creations in-game. While the Steam Workshop can create many collections, Mod.io cannot do this. It's another quality of life feature that just needs to be there. I'm still really surprised that something like this is not on the Mod.io platform. Collaboration support is also missing from Mod.io. What I mean by this is when you see multiple workshop creators working on something together. I sometimes build ships with friends, so when one of us uploads it to the Steam Workshop, we then invite the other to become a collaborator on the project. It makes perfect sense. In this day and age, it's a core feature of not just the Steam Workshop, but all of social media websites. Instagram has a collaborator version, and so does TikTok. Mod.io does not have this feature. It's another essential item that is missing and is devastating for larger mods that have a team that works on them. Some of the most liked and subscribed to mods of Space Engineers 1, like Modular Encounter Systems, is created by a team of people. As such, it has those creators listed on the page. You can see on screen by what I mean. Privacy and direct messages. Mod.io appears to have a problem with the abuse of direct messages and privacy on the platform. So part of a privacy element does build into the unlisted features we spoke about, but also you can't seem to lock down your direct messages. Personally, myself and many other creators, community members and developers do not want to be constantly direct messaged by everyone. Just saying, it's a choice we deserve a right to in this day and age. There is no way to prevent people from messaging you privately on Mod.io. If everyone can simply just DM a creator, and we're talking about 1,000 users per mod, and more, in the case of Weapon Core, it is 75,000 current subscribers. That's a lot of messages to people, mainly the developers. It essentially makes the DM feature useless, resulting in people expecting answers from community members. At the end of the day, this is both a privacy and security concern that the platform does not seem to address. Let's talk about the loss of community. Space Engineers 2 is a sequel game. Many players, community members, and creators will likely transfer from Space Engineers 1 over to the brand new second game when the time is right for them. However, a lot of these community creators, which is how I'll sum up modders, YouTubers, streamers, and general workshop creators, have established communities and followers via the Steam Workshop. Now, given Space Engineers has been around for a decade, these creators have built up quite a following. In the case of some of my good friends who make some fantastic looking workshop creations, they've been making things since the very first early access release and when Workshop became available for Space Engineers 1. That's a lot of people following them. Unfortunately, it does appear to me and many other community members that Mod.io is simply not up to the case. I fully understand King's intention here. A centralized place for the community makes a ton of sense. Unfortunately, this decision seems to have been made without regard for the community that has actively built itself on Space Engineers 1 and the Steam Workshop over the last 10 years. Many people credit the success and continued enjoyment of Space Engineers 1 to the creations on the Steam Workshop. I personally always load a few mods onto the Space Engineers worlds I play. Can you blame me? After 10 years, vanilla content is somewhat boring. There are some other issues that I've seen community members point out. For example, Mod.io as a platform is funded by venture capital. So if the money of a platform runs out, we could see it change into something that we're not all fans of. This could potentially be bad further down the line, but that's probably a larger conversation for another day. A lot of what we have mentioned, as in the downsides of Mod.io, have been present since Space Engineers 1 adopted a platform for the console version of the game. That was some time ago, so if these issues and lack of features have not been addressed since then, it begs the question if they will ever be added to the platform. During the Space Engineers 2 reveal stream, a lot of the community were in the chat asking about Steam Workshop support, and the topic was dodged by the community team and not answered, which was a bit disappointing. I could not get a clear answer on the topic myself when reaching out to inquire about the status of the workshop. Thankfully, Marek did tweet and provide context, which I've shown you on screen. Still, I think the community needs to be treated better when it comes to things like this. It almost strikes me as a little bit dodgy. It does seem like the sudden change in mod.io and not supporting Steam Workshop mods has been decided without considering the impact on the community, or asking the community. Keen Software House as a developer does have some great connections with the modding community as well as the general workshop creator community. Simply asking them or holding a poll would have been a good idea to gauge feedback on this. Actually, that sounds like a great idea. Keen, if you're watching, hello. But let's get serious. Let's hold a poll and let the Space Engineers player community show you what they think about the lack of Steam Workshop and the addition of mod.io as the UGC host platform. Come on, let's do it. Okay, it seems Keen is somewhat aware of the pitfalls of mod.io. Marek and the Keen team have said that if the option is not liked, then it may be changed. Keen also updated their Space Engineers 2 roadmap to display that the user-generated content workshop will only use the backend of mod.io, while the actual game will use an in-game UGC workshop. This means that when we play Space Engineers 2, we will get access to an in-game viewer. In some ways, you could say this is similar to the blueprint menu that we see in Space Engineers 1, when you spawn in ships or take blueprints of your grids. This is all well and good, using mod.io as a backend, but I have seen some suggesting that if this is the case, Keen can have the front end, as in the in-game workshop, be custom to their own needs. In some ways, I do not see this working. Keen will still be using mod.io, and it will still have those glaring issues and downsides we previously mentioned. As such, Keen will either have to leave it as is with Space Engineers 2, and players will not have some of these critical features, or they'll have to bolt on these features themselves. That would also cause issues, in my opinion. And Marek Rosa has said that Keen will migrate to the Steam Workshop solution if the backend of the in-game UGC workshop, which will be mod.io, is not liked by the player community. There we have it. This is the hope on the horizon for what many want. I don't see mod.io introducing the much needed features many community members have been asking for, so perhaps we will see what happens when Space Engineers 2 introduces the UGC update. Now hopefully, we do get clearer communication on this as we progress into Space Engineers 2 development. I do worry about this. As others have pointed out, it is possible that this decision could lead to the user base for Space Engineers 2 mods dropping dramatically if it is not integrated with the Steam Workshop. So that's all my news on Space Engineers 2 development for today. If you two have thoughts and feelings on the mod.io and Steam Workshop situation for the game, let me know in the comments below. I also implore you to let Keen know your feelings on this matter. Some of you may support this, others may not, and that is totally fine. Both sides have valid arguments here, and seeing and hearing both sides is essential to this debate. For now, this is the end of the video. I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe for more Space Engineers 2 videos.